If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
What are you doing this Thursday night? Why not drop by Sullivan's Steakhouse on Light Street? A fabulous dining room, a sexy bar, jazz music, $5 martinis, and food specials. Seafood, steaks, and value. That's Sully's.
John McKay back onto the program. What's happening, John?
Not much, Nesty. How you doing? Good to be back in.
Outstanding. You were out at the KOBST event the other night at Silver Spring Mining Company, taking in a honest-to-God WNST appearance. Pretty packed for hockey. We didn't do bad, right?
Yeah, good time had by all, I think. That was a nice night.
Well, it was good until the until the Penguins scored in overtime. I guess that kind of did it in. So what's going on, man? How's the last couple weeks been for you? Checking out your blogs, reading about George Sherrill last night, seeing your blogging a little bit here. What has been on your mind? You're primarily a baseball guy. Haven't been a minor league player and all that, right?
Baseball's the bread and butter, definitely. I like to talk about football a little bit as well, but you know, being baseball season, the O's are doing what they're doing. It's easy, a lot to talk about, so I like keeping on that topic if I can.
You know, I don't know where you stand on the issue, but I went nuts yesterday, and people are, you know, saying I'm looking for reasons to criticize the Orioles. Dude, I'm looking for reasons to praise the Orioles. I find it hard to praise them when they're 3-14 over 17 games, and they come back and play games in soaking wet. Just some thoughts from you on where they stand right now, whether they've attracted your interest. I mean, last night there couldn't have been 7,000 or 8,000 people at the ballpark.
Well, I'm always interested, but that game the other night should not have even started. I think, you know, Garnire said the same thing after the game. For a manager to pop off the way he did, that says a lot, I think, about even playing that game.
And it would have been Tremblay had the Orioles lost. I mean, it's for the losing manager to pop off in a 6-inning game.
There you go. But that game should no way have been played. I mean, you can look at the forecast at 8 o'clock that morning. It shouldn't have been played, but it got played. We got a win out of it. That's not a bad thing, but take it when you can get them at this point.
Well, I understand the business side of having to get baseball games in, but as a player, what was it like to have to go out there in the rain and play?
Well, playing in the rain's never fun. I think the advantage goes to the pitcher, definitely. You know, unless you're throwing a lot of ground balls, it gets wet out there. But you got to stay focused, and I think they did a good job of that. Give up, what, 1 run in the game. That was probably Hendricks' best outing of the year, I believe.
Well, I'm sure you pitched in the minors, and did they run you off the field pretty quickly? I mean, there's always money involved from that angle, and there's always let's get the game in angle. But there's also the, you know, wet ball, guy gets hit in the head. Wet ball, guy in the outfield trips and hurts himself. I mean, there's a little bit of that going on.
The thing that surprised me the most about the other night was those things are based almost exclusively on the radar. So if it's going to be a downpour, you keep playing. But when the radar's telling you it's going to rain for the next 4 hours, you don't play. So that's the surprising part about them playing the other night.
So for you, George Sherrill, you wrote a little bit about that, and you wrote about the Orioles' future being bright. I want to expound upon that a little bit.
That's going to be kind of today's topic, getting into it here in a little bit. You know, I got to...
Well, give it a little preview. We call it, in the radio business, we call it teasing it. Tease it a little bit.
Well, like I said in the blog, I mean, those future's bright, and I said, you know, I think, not positive. I mean, I think we've been down this road before a little bit, and it looks eerily similar to 5 years ago when we had some young arms in the minors and not a real good mesh of some free agent signings and some young pitchers. You got to do a little bit of both, I think.
Well, I mean, you being a minor league guy yourself, you played around guys that were hotshot, big money guys, and then there were guys like you who maybe you make it, maybe you don't, whatever they call them, organizational depth guys or promising guy or whatever. But you know the numbers. I'm sure somewhere there was some dude you played minor league ball with that was an absolute rock star that I've never heard of and nobody ever heard of because they just didn't make it. And that happens, especially with pitchers.
Very much so with pitchers. I mean, there was a guy that I was in rehab with. It was $1 million guy, and he got released when we were sitting there. I mean, there's too much depth in the organization to let those guys hang around too long. But again, I think there's a fine line between putting all your eggs in that basket and not bringing somebody in free agent-wise to stabilize the situation a little bit.
You need some is more than some might be's.
Exactly.
All right, so what are you talking about today? You got Orioles, you got some Ravens minicamp. What else we got going on here? What's piqued your interest over the last couple of weeks? Obviously, you were at the hockey game the other night.
The hockey game was good stuff. I'm not a diehard hockey fan. Like I said, I haven't bought the jersey, but it's definitely fun to watch, and I'm going to stay locked in on that for the next couple of weeks. But we're going to stick with the O's today, a little bit of Ravens, and see what the callers want to talk about.
All right. Well, there he is, John McKay, Coors Light, King of Baltimore Sports Talk Competition. We're going to come back. We're going to put John on the clock. I want to thank the cruise lady. I want to thank our friends at Royal Caribbean, as well as Bedonia Station and Donna's Tavern in Dundalk. The semifinalists will be heading to Donna's on Wednesday night. We're going to pare it down over the weekend, get some folks out. We have some celebrity appearances, some celebrity judges that are coming to Donna's in Dundalk. I'm going to go through that next week. But in the meantime, we will take a break. We'll come back. John McKay will get his 15 minutes on the clock. You are welcome to call him at 410-481-1570. We'll see what John's got under the hood. And later on in the afternoon, we've got Jay Trucker stopping in. We're also going to see Nick Kelly. We're also going to see Tom Clayton and Luke Jones. A big afternoon here. Amateur Hour, Coors Light, King of Baltimore Sports Talk competition continues on Limited Access, brought to you by Royal Farms.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.